That's a cool thing too, is like no one else is gonna have this setup here. I'm having a completely unique bow to myself is pretty cool. All right, welcome back to my channel, Harvestlandtv. If this is your first time joining us on this channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see future videos. If you like watching stuff in Arizona, hunting and fishing, stuff like that, then this is the channel for you. Today we're gonna be spray painting our bow. If you haven't seen our previous videos of spray painting our guns, you can go check that out in the link above. Today we're gonna be spray painting the bow because, as you can see, my bow, and I kind of hit it already, I tried to get out of the wind, but you can see it's very light, very snow colored, high mountain kind of terrain, and has those aspen trees on it, and it's really not an Arizona bow. Okay, so today we're gonna make it an Arizona bow. Like I said, I already hit it today, but the wind was just too high and too variable. I thought I was gonna be able to get out enough, but it wasn't enough to spray paint, so the spray paint was going everywhere. But like I said, you want to make sure that you got good wind. You want to make sure that your tape is adequate. It took me a little bit to tape this sucker up, and you'll see the tape, it'll start coming apart. So you just got to make sure that that tape is not coming apart anywhere and not exposing any of your string like it is right here. So that might take a little bit, you know. It might take quite a bit of looking over multiple times to make sure everything is good to go. But I taped it up very, very well, making sure all my cams are not exposed, the string's not exposed anywhere. Anywhere that I'm gonna be doing threading on here needs to be covered up so it's not exposed. And I just wanna be able to get in all these little cracks in here because there's a lot of open holes and open little crevices that are hard to get to. But first, let's go over the paint. So like I said in the rifle video, you really can get away with 2 paints. I like having 3. I only have 2 on this one today. It's not much of an area that we're gonna be painting, so I think it'll be okay. But what's really cool to do on your rifles, and you can do it on your bow as well, is having 2 types of tan. So I recommend using this Krylon right here. You guys can see that? Krylon paint, and you can see there's no color, but it says ultra flat. Ultra flat is what you're looking for. There's not a color name, but it's tan when it comes to this kind of camouflage spray paint can. I like having 2 types of tan and having them a little offset from each other because it contrasts really well when you do that. This is gonna be same thing. It doesn't have a name, but it's the green color, ultra flat. Not really sure if you can tell if that's green or not, but it's green, okay? And basically, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be spraying on the light color first. That goes on the bow first. I'm gonna be doing a first coating one where it's just a light coat. And then the next one, I'm gonna be trying to cover it up a little bit. I'm gonna let it tack for a little bit, a couple minutes, let it sit there and dry. This says it'll be fully dry in 15 minutes. I give mine 24 hours or more to dry out, and before I touch them and move them around or anything like that. And you can still smell the paint is a little fresh after 24 hours. So it's good paint though. It's really, really good paint. And after like 15 minutes, you're not gonna, it's not gonna be sticky. It's not gonna be any of that. It is gonna dry. But I just like letting it, dry completely. So let's do that. Let's do a first coat with the tan and then go from there. Okay, again, I'm just looking to see if there's any exposed areas, like right there. That is going to expose my string. And I'm gonna stay away from that area the best that I can. Other than that, it looks pretty good. So typically I like spray painting this when it's up in the air, but honestly I like doing it on the floor as well. Let's try this combination of things here. That'll work. Just trying to get that area as flat as I possibly can so that the cardboard doesn't touch the bow. Is what we're looking for. Okay, so again, light coat, short burst. Do a little check first. Okay. You really want to press down on that handle because you don't want the spray paint to have blotches. You don't want that blotchiness going on. Okay, first coat is on. Get the sides right here. And you're gonna have to probably hit this at different angles multiple times to truly get it covered all the way. Short burst, you don't wanna do a really fast, hard, long burst, or not fast, but you don't wanna do very long strokes, you just wanna do short burst. And see, getting a different angle over here, I can see where I didn't hit on this side. So you wanna just move around the bow as much as you can and make sure you're hitting all the required areas, because there's a lot of angles in here. You could easily miss them. Okay, there's one coat. We're gonna let that tack up and dry. It was a little bit heavy of a coat, but it's gonna work. So give it a couple minutes and we'll start over. Okay, now we're going for our second coat here. I guess I should have said, the reason why I do those short bursts and all that is because I don't want drips to happen. I did have some dripping going on, especially if you hang an item. If you hang it, it's gonna be a little easier to get drips, I found. So just make sure you do the short burst, okay? Short burst is what you're doing, and not going too heavy in one area, because you will start to get a drip going on, and that's hard to correct once that starts happening. This one's gonna be a little bit heavier. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time, again, doing short burst, but I am gonna spend a little bit more time. This is where you start risking on those drips, getting risky on the drips. So again, make sure your freaking tape is closed, just like I see that right there. I wanna make sure my string is completely covered and I don't have anything being exposed. I don't think that's gonna do a whole lot right there, but whatever. See, this tape likes to sneak up a little bit on you. So. All right, second coat done. Now we wait. Okay, now we're going for coat number 3. And I'm gonna try and cover up every exposed area that I see. Again, try not to go heavy. Nope, getting drips. I got a little heavy in that spot because I'm trying to get into that little exposed area. So I got myself some drips though, folks. It wasn't too much though. Okay. It's starting to look real good right now. I really like the color a lot. Like, I like it a lot. It's already looking amazing. It looks like a completely different bow, honestly. All right, and there's coat number 3. We'll let it sit and dry. All right, we are gonna go for our 4th and final coat. You would probably be okay with just stopping right here, just touching up whatever areas you see you might have missed. But I'm gonna go ahead and lay one more coat on, just because I have the paint for it. And I do want it to have a very good finish. I don't want it to just have like one little scratch and it's like you can already see through the paint. I'm not trying to like super layer the thing up, but I do want it to have a good, strong foundation that won't just scratch off the paint off after one little ding. So one more coat. Really got to look in the cracks here and in all the little corners, because it's real easy to miss on a bow. And it's kind of hard to lay some heavy paint where your spray paint's light at, because then it'll drip. Okay, that looks pretty good for now. I still got to do another side. So we're gonna leave it as is now. We're gonna let this thing dry for maybe about 20 or 30 minutes, and then we're gonna come back to it. Honestly, you might even be better leaving this for 24 hours. If you don't have a way to hang it, leaving it for 24 hours, because if you flip it over on the cardboard or something else, I've had it stick before, okay? Long story short. So I had it stick before, and then the cardboard comes with it, and that's when you're rushing a job. So if you can, let this thing dry for quite a while, all right? Okay, so I think I got ahead of myself a little bit. I did let the fourth coat dry for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I am using a little blow dryer and just kind of giving it some airflow. I'm not getting real super close to it, but I just kind of work real slow in one section, work my way back up, and just so it dries a little bit. I'm kind of on the time schedule, so I'm trying to be fast, but not too fast. But yeah, so that's 4 coats. Now I'm going to do the secondary color, okay? So I'm not quite sure how I want to do this secondary color yet. It's a lot different than a rifle. Tiger stripes are probably what I'm going to go for, but I mean it's only getting one edge, you know. So I don't know if I need to go like this or if I should be going at an angle. I think I'm going to try and slice it at an angle right here, 45-degree angle. All right, 45-degree angle all the way down, and just kind of wrap it around the edges right here. And same thing with the front and the back. Just like I said before, shake your can well. Do a little test spray right here. You know, do a little test spray. Make sure you got all the gunk and nastiness out of there. And then we will kind of practice too, all right? So you want to practice where you're going to go. Okay, I'm going to go right there a little bit. Then I'm going to probably bring it straight down right here. So I'll just, you know, I didn't have that idea until I started doing this stuff next to the bow, you know? So practice. You're like, okay, I'm going to do that stripe right there. Then I'm going to go right here, do right there. Then I think I'll go right here, do right there. And I'm going to make it a little bit thick, and thick as in length here, from width, I guess would be the correct term. I'm going to make it pretty wide greens, okay? I want to make my greens pretty wide because I want a dark surface area that I can overspray the tan back onto. Okay, so here we go. Again, short burst. Short and quick bursts. Just like such. And you gotta get the front. It's a little awkward, I ain't gonna lie. Don't lay it on thick. All right, folks, this is coming out very good. So I'm gonna call that good on the green, honestly. And we're gonna go right into spraying this cover pattern on where I just sprayed the green. This, spot check, this you wanna be far away from in short, sweet bursts. This is where I like using a secondary tan, because that makes it really pop really good. Now it is easy to get these cans mixed up, so I like to keep the lids on them. Look at that, I already put the freaking green on the tan. So I'm gonna try out the green now onto the tan. This is looking really, really cool. So I do want to try and get a little bit more of a tan going where it's not so much. Okay, so now I'll let it dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and hit it with the tan on the outside of all of it. I'm going to coat it all with a little bit of tan, not too heavy to where it's covering up the design or anything, but just enough to where it will make it a lighter color overall, because that's what we're going for. I don't want it to be too dark. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys kind of a look at it right now as it is. That looks really cool, I'm not gonna lie. It's exactly what I wanted out of it. I mean, this thing is looking great. That handle, before I painted over this, right there where that handle is, which is right there, it was already wearing, I weared off the company or the factory paint. Just by shooting it so many times, it had worn off and it was just white right there. So I'm sure it'll do the same thing with this paint. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to bore you through the walkthrough again. I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing, and then we'll snap to when I'm done. And we'll see the end product. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry for 24 hours, leave the tape on before I touch it. I'm gonna move it off to the side and just let it sit there overnight. And we will see you guys when this is all done.